Hello everyone, Havik here. Going to be doing some more Hex Draft Simulator, just to get ready for basically when Hex comes out, or the alpha starts later this month. So yeah, just fiddling around with the Hex Simulator once again, the Draft Simulator I should say. So this is the first pick here. The obvious choice is the rare here, which is actually a very nice rare. It's a 5 cost, 2 ruby threshold with flight. You can then sacrifice it for free and do 2 damage to each troop without flight and each champion. So if this was the only thing you had in play and the enemy was running, say, a Shinhair deck, which, here's a Shinhair for example, Shinhair are pretty weak, more about swarming, so if you were against something like that you could take out a bunch of troops with just this one guy. Then you could then play a resource and then put it back into your hand and then possibly back into play. So yeah, it has a lot of options available to it, and yeah, very good removal card, and then easy to get back into your hand and back into play as well. Other good picks from this pack, I would say, you got the Clergyman, it's pretty nice. You got Temporal Transfer, Wild Growth's pretty nice. Combat Trick. Ruby Lance is okay. Yeah, they're probably the better ones. So, but yeah, we'll take the Ash Harpy as the first pick. So that's picked now. So it's up here. If anyone does want to try out this Hex simulator, you can go to hexdraft.com and yeah, pretty much start it from there. So the second pack, it's a pretty bad rare. Just because the way it works, it basically voids all other cards you control, and yeah, it's blah. Not something you'd want for a draft. But yeah, Counter Magic is probably the best pick in here, being a very good removal card. It also then adds +2 permanent cost. So for example, say you were to counter Blinding Light that your opponent uses, you then counter that. If they have more of this card in their deck, it'll then cost from 3 to 5 anytime they want to use it later on. So yeah, Counter Magic is very nice because of that. So it's got a lot of options open to it. So yeah, I will take Counter Magic. Third pack. Immediately nothing stands out too much since I have started going blue and red, but yeah, I probably will maybe take the Sapphire Ore, as it can be used as a combat trick. There is also this, which I think just adds a threshold, so it's good for ramping, but it's not too fantastic in my opinion. Let's see, so yeah, I think I'll just take the, actually no, I probably won't take this, just not yet, because it probably will get let through. What I might do is just take something else to deny, or like Socket or Miner. Like Miner's not too great, but it does give some good flexibility, so I might just deny something like that. Maybe even Wild Growth. Yeah, I'll just get rid of the Wild Growth so no one can use that against me. I probably will take the Dream Dance here, which is the rare, as denoted by the blue at the bottom. Blue being rare, green is uncommon. You got white here, which is the commons. So yeah, I think that's probably the best pick here for me, so we'll take that. Here we go, Buccaneer. Such a great Sapphire card. It's only 3 costs with 1 threshold, so you can use it very quickly. And just what it does is pretty damn awesome. It's a very cost-effective card. It's only, as I said, 3 cost. When it enters play, you can basically send one of your opponent's troops that's on the field back into their hand, and then you increase its cost by 1. So if you get this early game and they've got a troop out, or a few troops out really quickly, you can basically slow down their aggression, put a card back in their hand, and then if they want to cast it again next turn, it's going to cost them another resource. So it could potentially make so they can't even bring it back. Or if they do, they are still basically wasting that turn, bringing that creature back into play. So, very nice card to have pretty much throughout the whole game, because it could be it could be like later on if you get it and you want to attack, you're putting another card back in their hand and then allowing you to attack through and get some damage in. Could be, could secure the victory. So always a viable card. Other good mentions in this pack, we've got the Kraken Guard Mariner, basically just, inspire troop. It gives the other troops an extra point of defense when they come into play, as long as they, well, pretty much with any troop, because it is a 1 cost, so everything else is either going to be 1 or higher, so any other troops you bring in play, if this guy is in play, will get that extra 1 to defense or 1 to health. Run to the litter's nice, just to getting three creatures which you can block with into play. It's only a 2 cost, so that's very cost effective as well. And there are ways to then buff up all those little guys that you do get into play. Like for example, Evolver out here. Each troop you control gets permanent +1/+1. So this here with something like that, if you have multiples of this and you just spam it out, loads of little shin hair all over the place, then you draw this and you go, oh sweet, I'll give them all +1/+1. So that's gives them some damage and more defense and so on. But yeah, I will take this and go to the next pack. Probably will just take the draw card here. Drawing cards is always nice. There is also the Ruby Aura, which is a pretty nice combat trick, which I might actually take, because I think this may get let through, so I'll just take the Ruby Aura. Let's see. Next pack. I might actually just take the Bombsmith here, because it does, when it comes into play, you can choose to do 1 damage to a target troop. So if you're up against, in limited, you're generally going to be up against a lot of weak creatures. Like just looking at this pack, for example, 1 health, 1 health, 1 health, 1 health, 2 and 2. So a lot of weak creatures. So generally, if you get him early, you're going to probably take something out with him. So it's a free removal. And it's only a 2 cost, so that makes it pretty good as well. And then you can just use him as a chunk blocker. Other than that, it's not too much that's great in this pack. I mean, it's not that great. Well, it's not too bad. You give your target troop permanent rage 2. So if you are lacking a lot of damage dealers in your deck, you can get something like this and give a target troop rage 2, which then makes it so every time they attack, it gives them +2 to their attack damage. So, and that'll just keep working every turn as long as it stays alive. But yeah, we'll take the Bombsmith here. Next pack. So yeah, so we've got 3 blue, 3 red at the moment. So we'll be sticking to that most likely. Let's see, I'll probably just take the Insight Fury here, as I just mentioned about what it does. So with something like, let's see what creatures we've got, the Buccaneer and the Ash Harpy at the moment. So you wouldn't really put it on the Ash Harpy, since that is something you're going to be sacrificing and bringing back as much as you can whenever needed. Actually, never mind that, it's permanent, so that would actually be a good combo. Because of the fact that, being a digital game, you can, buff up creatures, and that generally will be a permanent buff. So even though, for example, if I put this onto the Ash Harpy here, it's going to get, when it does attack, being a flyer, it's going to go straight to a 4/4/1. And then, the next turn, 6/1 and so on. Then when you sacrifice it to, hopefully clear their board, or just do some damage, it'll go to the grave, but then you can just bring it back by playing a resource and put it back into play and just continue where you left off. So that is actually a really nice combo. Something that didn't immediately jump out to me, but yeah. Because you've got to remember that things are permanent in this game. So that is actually a very nice combo. So for example, if you put this on a troop like the Buccaneer here, and you're getting him buffed up, and then all of a sudden he got removed. Well, you can't there's no easy way to bring him back. Whereas the Ash Harpy is basically designed for that. So I will get the Insight Fury here, as that is a pretty nice combo to do. I might just take another Bombsmith here. Yeah, just take another one. As I said, in limited, you're going to be up against a lot of generally fairly weak creatures. So I'll take that. Mortar Strike's not too bad. It is probably well, it is pretty much the best pick here for me since I am going Ruby Sapphire. Nuts and Bolts is okay. You do get 2 units out of it, but I think because you are going to have generally in limited people make a 40 card deck, and most of that will be comprised of your troops. So this can be fairly effective because it does do 3 damage to the opposing champion, and then the top 3 cards of the deck. So if they have like 1 creature in any of those 3 cards, and it's 3 health or lower, then you've taken it out, and that's not too bad. It's not the best, but yeah, it's not too bad. So I will take it, keep it, even if I just keep it as a sideboard card as an option. Dog wants my attention. Sorry about that. So yeah, the pick here, Sapphire Aura. Or I could deny something like this, but it's not, it's not a quick action, so it's not too threatening. They can't use it as a combat trick and surprise you. You're going to see it coming. It's still something that could be pretty dangerous, but I will take the combat trick, +1/+1 flight, as that's fairly useful. That's something I can use. I might actually take the command tower since we aren't really getting too many big damage dealers, so having let's have a look here. Yeah, obviously I've got a lot of room, a lot more cards coming my way, so yeah, I'll just grab that. I'll take the peak. I'm not really a huge fan of the card, but it does ensure card quality. You can have a look at the top. Depending on how much Sapphire you've got, you look at that equal to that amount. You look at that many of your cards, and then change the order based on what's going to serve you well in your upcoming draws. So I'll take that, and I'll just deny this guy and take that. Alright, so that's a pretty nice rare. What do I have? I don't really have any orcs yet, I don't think, no. But I can change that. So basically what this guy is when an orc you control deals damage to a champion, you create a Savage Raider. So it does work with itself. So you don't have to have other rares, other orcs in play to take advantage of it. You can just try and get this guy. If, for example, this guy here, you could play him, then chuck on a Sapphire Aura, and then hopefully fly over the top and get some damage in, which would be 5 damage by itself. And then you're going to get a Savage Raider, which a Savage Raider is this guy here, right there. So it's a 2/1. It can't block, so it's basically just trying to get as much damage in as you can. So it's not too fantastic, but considering it's free, if you get the damage in, it's pretty good. If I wasn't to pick this, I would then probably go for the Wizard here, just because it's a cost-effective card. You're getting 2 units out, or one of them being a flyer, the Owl Familiar. Yeah, Ruby Lance is okay. It is removal, so it's not too bad, and it is a quick action as well, and it's a pretty low cost, being 3 with 1 threshold. Other than that, yeah, I'll just take Zoltog here, and then we can possibly get some more orcs to take. There's a Buccaneer, so I will be taking that for sure. Oh, Void Leech, this is a card I like as well. There's actually two nice blue cards here. We've got the Thunderbird, which is nice, just very, very quick and aggressive flyer. And it's something that can get out of control very quickly because it's got rage. So if you get this and say you out turn 2, you start attacking the next turn, it's going to then go for 2/1, 3/1, and so on every time you attack each turn. And then it's actually, because it's a flyer, if they don't get any flyers to block it with, they're going to have to use a removal or something on it, otherwise it will just keep pinging them for increasing amounts of damage. So it makes it a very nice card, and is a common as well, so it is something that you can expect to crop up fairly often. But yeah, this rare here, the Void Leech Phantasm, pretty cool artwork as well. Oops, let me scroll that down. So yeah, it's a 4 cost 3 Sapphire Threshold, so the threshold amount is it's quite significant, but shouldn't be too much of a worry. But yeah, it's a 4 cost with flight, and it's a 3/4, so that's pretty good in itself. But then it also has once per game, you pay 2, and you basically counter a spell. So it'll then go back to the owner's hand though, so it doesn't go to the graveyard, but it still does slow down your opponent. So you could basically say you had 6 resources, you play this guy, and then basically you go to your opponent's turn, they try and play something, maybe their 4-drop or a 5-drop, you can then just counter it if you think it is something that is too threatening, and then just put it back in their hand, which is good. So that's also something nice to have as well, because it's just having on the board in the game. They're just like, oh, do I want to play this big guy, or do I want to try and make this person waste that interrupt? Because they obviously will be able to see that you've got it. So then, you might think to yourself, well, do I want to use it on the first thing they use, or are they saving something back? You just have to obviously analyse the board state, and if the thing they're casting is a big threat or not. But yeah, very nice card, so I will take that. Otherwise I would have went for the Thunderbird there. Next pack, let's see. We've got Sapphire again. See this guy here, the Research Adept, pretty low quality graphic for the card. Sorry about that. It's just because of what's been revealed so far. The card images actually come from different sources. But what it does say is when this troop enters play, if you control an artifact or a card. So I mean, the likelihood of actually having this guy in your hand when also having an artifact on the table, unless you're picking lots of artifacts, like I've only got the one really, so not something I'd really pick here because it's unlikely that I'll get that effect, and then it's a 4 cost for a 2/3, which is not that great. If I was going to get more artifacts, I would probably take it just because you do get that card draw, but in limited it's probably going to be not too effective. So we got the Sapphire Aura here, because I think this is going to get let through, like, people, the other AI and stuff, or even if I was playing against humans, I would probably think they would let this through, and there's other better picks here in the pack, like you got the Corpse Flyer, the Sword Trainer, Wild Auras, Atrophy, Command Towers, Repels. You got a lot of good, not great, but a lot of good stuff here. Teleport Transfer as well. So, but the Repel here, pretty nice removal. So I will deny that. So it cannot be used against me. So take that out. Oh, there's another Void Leech. That's nice. That is very nice. You can see. You can actually untick to see what the computers have been taking here. So the computers are running green and blood. So they didn't want to take the 2 really nice blue cards, which is surprising. This blood card's actually really nice as well if you do have a lot of cheap guys, or like for example if you combine this guy with, say, Runs of the Litter, you get those 3 Battle Hoppers, you can then get an unblockable out just for sacrificing 2 of those little runts. You play this guy, sacrifice 2 guys and pay 6, and then he can't be blocked, so you're going to be getting 5 damage. Unless they have removal, you're going to be pretty much getting 5 damage in, which is fairly significant. You've only got a 20 health pool to start with. But yeah, so the Flock of Seagulls, I like this card because it is basically a free blocker. It's a defensive only with flight, so you can block the ground and air units, and basically all combat damage to it is negated. So it can't be killed when you block a troop. Say that's a 10-10. The seagulls don't give a shit, there's just too many of them, hence the Flock of Seagulls. So it's always a very good blocker. So yeah, it's a really nice card to have. So I'm actually rather torn between having another Void Leech or a Flock of Seagulls. So yeah, it's a tricky one. See, having like I said, is having a nice, and people don't really want to. They're not going to want to waste. I mean, there is easy ways to kill it, like there's bomb smiths and things that just do 1 damage, and because it is combat damage, so I believe spells and whatnot will still work. It's like if you block a troop, that troop in the combat will not do the damage, but the spells and whatnot and removal will still work on it. So it is still pretty easy to get rid of. Yeah, I think I'll just take the Void Leech. Yeah, why not? Alright, next one. I can't remember this guy. Let's have a look. So he's a socketable major, which is nice because the major sockets do have a lot of variation of what you can do with the card. Depending on what gem type you put in there. From you can put a ruby in there to I think there's one of them does it so you can, when it comes into play, your troop will battle another troop, and then that way you can take something out for free. There's other stuff like making it so you draw a card, and many options there available, so it makes socketable cards very good. But with this guy here, so when this troop deals damage, create a warbot and put it into play. You can then tap him and deal damage to target champion equal to the number of artifacts you control. So that effect is not that great, the deal damage to target champion, because, like I said, not going to have really many artifacts, but the warbot he does create is an artifact. So if you can just keep getting him doing damage, you will make artifacts, and then the tap ability is actually pretty good, because then you can just, as long as you've got the one artifact, which you will, if you put the socket in him, that makes it so you can just deal damage when he comes into play. You're instantly going to get a warbot from that, and then basically your next turn you can tap him, activate that ability, do 1 damage to the target champion, create another warbot, and then just keep doing that like crazy. So that's pretty nice. He is, however, 7 cost, so he's pretty expensive, but still very nice. You want to have some big cards in your pack or in your draft. So yeah, I think I'll just take him. There is some. I mean, in terms of going Ruby and Sapphire, it is the better choice for me here. The Blood Crazed Zealot is a pretty nice aggressive card, but it is a 4 cost, so it's not something going to get into play too quickly. This guy's not too bad as well, but again, relies more on having an artifact in play when you when you cast him. So yeah, if this wasn't here, I would probably just look to deny this other repel, just because it is a nice removal. But yeah, I'll take the Ethereal Crafter. There's another Buccaneer, which I love this card, so it's pretty much every time I see him, it's like very hard to go, oh, do I want something else? But see, I think he's just very cost effective, so the Wizard's okay, but I love this guy. So Sword Train's pretty good as well, but because it is a 4 cost, the Inspire thing, you're not going to get it triggering on too many of your units, because they have to be either 4 or higher to get that benefit. And from what I've got at the moment, I've got a few 4s. I've got 3, a 3, then 2, 2. There's another 4, a 5, and a 7. So I mean, I could probably get some decent benefit out of this, but yeah, I think I will probably end up picking a lot more cheaper guys from here on. Like I think I'll just take another Buccaneer. So yeah. So I do actually have, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad what I've got so far in terms of the costing, but yeah, I'll take the Buccaneer. Oh damn, this is some nice cards to pick from here. Another Buccaneer, obviously, but then you got the Mirror Knight as well, which is probably what I will take here, just because he will synergize really well with a lot of, I've got, like I said, I do actually have a decent amount of 4 drops and and higher, and 3 drops as well, being the Buccaneers that I've already got. So basically, if this guy's in play, all my troops that when they come into play that are 3 or higher cost will get the ability to draw a card when they deal damage to an opposing champion, which is a very, very nice thing to have, because that gives you a very good card advantage. And because of the fact that I have, where are they? Like these 2, for example. If I was to have this guy in play and then get these in, because they're flying, it's pretty likely that you will be able to get some damage in, and therefore get some draws. So you'll get some advantage out of it. And yeah, so I will take this guy, just because it is getting card advantage is always a nice thing to have. and it's unlikely that, well, it's unlikely people will want to use a removal on him. They'd probably, let you keep him in play, and then try and remove the other stuff that they could possibly get that effect out of. Like if I was to then play one of these, I would then obviously try and interrupt their removal, but yeah, they could always then play it again. But yeah, so I'll take the Mirror Knight. Stop rambling on about him. I don't really have many 1-drops, so I will just take a Savage Raider here. Let's see, I'll probably take an Arena Brawler just because it is a cheap cost with 3 damage. It is only 1 life, but even if you only get 1 hit in onto their champion or force them to block with something, if you get it out early, they're pretty likely to lose something because it is 3 damage, which is very good for a 2-drop. So we'll take that. Now, because I do have, I was thinking, because I do have a few ways to get some artifacts in, like with this guy, but yeah, I was thinking maybe of taking this guy, but I think I'll just take the Flyer, because that is a 3-drop, so that will work with the Mirror Knight, and it is a Flyer, so decent chance that you'll be able to get that damage in, and then draw another card, which is always a good thing, so we'll take that. We'll take the Sapphire over here. I'll take another Arena Brawler just because, like I said, the cheap cost with good damage. I'll take the Rocket Ranger and another Rocket Ranger. Oh damn, that's a. So this card here, it's a legendary. That's the red there denotes legendary. So it's you don't really see. I think that's probably the first legendary I've seen doing this draft. You don't really not going to see them often. Obviously, this drafting simulator doesn't know the chances of what of a legendary is going to be when you open a pack of cards. But yeah, it's probably likely that their estimate would be pretty close. But yeah, this legendary here. So I mean, just looking at that, it has it's an 8 cost, so pretty expensive. But for what it does, it's very much worth it. If you can get this guy into play, you're likely going to win the game unless your opponent has some removal and whatnot. So if you can keep him up, then you're laughing, because he's a troop that basically gets his damage and his defense is equal to whatever your current health is on your champion. So if you're still at 20 health and this guy comes into play, you're going to have a 20-20 that your opponent's just not going to be able to deal with unless they have removal or something to take care of him, because their troops will not be able to match him. So yeah, he's also got life drain. So if you get 1 hit in, even I'm pretty sure, yeah, even if you just hit a troop and he's 20-20 and you hit one of their troops because they block him, he's then a 40-40. So that's pretty nuts. So yeah, I'm tempted to. I probably won't actually take this here. Just because the options I have available to me are pretty decent. Like for example, because it is an 8 cost, they're going to be playing that fairly late into the game, probably, maybe turn 7, if they've got some sort of resource ramping. But yeah, most likely turn 8 if they've just been getting really good it's probably not even going to be turn 8 actually, because they have to keep getting the resources each turn, and depends on how many they drew on their first turn. Say they have 3, then they keep drawing a resource. They still have to obviously get them all into play. So it's not something that's not something they're getting to play quickly. And then if they do, and if they're against me, and I've got all these Buccaneers, then I just go ha ha, and put it back in their hand, and then they have to do an iron drop. So that would be annoying for them. And then because I am getting a fair few Buccaneers, more would be always nice. You could just keep doing it to them. But yeah, by that stage, you could almost probably have them killed. So even if he does come into play, because it is coming in later, if you've got a good deck and you've been pinging him for damage, he might come in at say 10-10 or lower even. So he's not going to be too crazy. But yeah, if he does get a hit in, that's where problems start coming. So removal. Like, I've got the ability to bounce them, I can interrupt so it stops it again, and I got many ways to put it back in their hand. And I've got the one counter magic. I don't have, the best removal, to be honest, in terms of just taking him out and getting rid of it completely. But you would just have to, I'm more relying on trying to end it a bit quicker than letting this guy come into play. So I think I will take the Buccaneer. Hopefully I can get the Thunderbird. I'm pretty sure that'll be picked up by the next computer. That'll get picked up. Yeah, that probably will get picked up as well. So I probably won't get around to seeing that the next pack, the next time round. But yeah, I'll take the Buccaneer. So there's a murder that's for some reason been left. So let's actually have a look what the computer picked over that. The computer liked the flock of seagulls over a murder. So that's pretty interesting. So we're seeing if I take the murder here, I'm not going to really be able to. I mean, I could probably, if I, it's a bit late into the draft, but I mean, I could still. It is only one threshold, so I could splash a bit of blood, but yeah, I won't. It is probably a bit too late, but I will take it just to deny it. The judgment is also pretty nice. It destroys all cards with cost less than the highest card among cards you control. So, if you control a 3-cost card and then and that's your highest one, and that's say you've only got the one card in play, and you play this, and your opponent has lots of 2-cost units and stuff, they will pretty much all die, and your 3 guy will survive. I'm pretty sure. Destroy costs with the highest. Yeah, so your 3. I mean, it's a very situational. If you're in that state where your board is just getting, you've got like 1 or 2 guys in play, and your opponent's got a heap. I mean, it's a good thing to have, but you generally don't want to be in that state. So, yeah, very situational. The murder obviously viable throughout the whole game. Especially against that, those white creatures from the previous pack. Just murder him and he's gone. So I will take that just to get rid of it. And then we'll have a look at the next pack. Dream Dance is nice. There's also an Inner Conflict, which is basically similar to Murder. It can just basically stop a troop from attacking or blocking. So see, do I want to take Dream Dance, or I think I'll deny this, and then maybe if I'm lucky that'll come back to me. So we'll deny that. There's another one. So the difference is if they use it on something like this guy, like if they wanted to stop him from attacking or blocking, then I can still use that tap ability to deal damage. So I can still keep creating warbots with him, because it only does stop the attack or block. It doesn't stop the activated abilities on cards or their like bonuses and stuff. For example, this guy, like if they use it on him, he would still, that effect would still be active on your other orcs when they do damage. So it's not as good as Murder. It is cheaper to use, but it is still a very nice card. So yeah, I think I will. Tricky one, because there is actually 2. Got Repel, which is just full on kill it, or the. Let's have a look. It's tricky. I think I'll just deny the Repel. I'm just gonna quickly check something. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. Just thought I'd have a look at the stream. See if it was looking alright. Actually, is the quality alright for you guys that are watching? I have fiddled with my settings, so I'm not too sure if it is too bad or not. But anyway, I'll continue. So this pack here, I'll probably just take a Ruby Lance. I don't really have, I do have a lot of red, so it is likely that it'll be pretty effective throughout the whole game. So yeah, I will take the Ruby Lance there. Pretty decent removal, quick action as well. Buccaneer, love it. How many Buccaneers will that put me out? That'll put me out 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll have 5 with this one. That's pretty damn awesome. I like that. Yeah, it's a nice green card here. Gives you some nice resource ramp because it's a 3 cost and you basically create 2 more wild resources. You can't use them during the turn that this card is played, but then the subsequent turns you will be gaining those resources. So that's very nice. If you were to play that on turn 3, the next turn, turn 4, you could potentially have 6 resources available if you were to get another resource in on the next turn. So turn 4, 6 resources is very nice to have. So very nice card to run in wild decks. Or you don't have to do single color wild. You always do wild plus something else, or even 3 colors, because the way the resources work in Hex, you always just have to meet the threshold. Then you basically look at the resources as a blank. You can use it on basically anything. So you could have, say, 15 resources, and even if all your cards are, say, 1 sapphire, it doesn't matter what your resources were when you played them. As long as you've at least had 1 sapphire amongst all that, you can play 5 blue cards if you wanted. So it does make this pretty nice in multicolored decks as well. Obviously, I'm not going to take it though. I am just doing red and blue, and it is a 2 threshold. So there's no way at this stage of the game that I'd be able to splash that. So yeah, obviously Buccaneer is a nice pick here. I would like to probably deny the repel, but yeah, I will take the Buccaneer. I will actually take the Sniper here. It's actually a pretty nice card. When it enters play, it deals damage equal to its attack to target champion or troop, so nice removal. I don't really have, obviously, any Inspire troops or anything that really make him stronger, so it is still only going to be 2 damage when it comes into play, but 2 damage is still 2 damage, so it's not too bad. It is a 5 drop, but yeah, not too bad. And I could always... no, I don't really have anything that could buff him up before coming into play. But yeah, I'll take him. Let's see... I think I'll just take the, yeah. Put target artifact. Nah, that's no good. I'll just take the Sapphire over there. Don't know what this card is. Very bad quality on that. I have no idea. That's most likely going to come back, so I won't take it yet. I might just deny something like this. I'll take another peek. I mean, having 2 of them is not too bad. I wouldn't really want to get more though, so I'll take the peek there. I'll take another Bombsmith. I'll try to go a bit quicker from here since we are right near the end. Here's, I'll just be denying, so I may just deny this because it is a pretty nice blocker. I'll deny the Soccerable guy actually, since he does have a lot of options available to him, so I'll get rid of that. Get rid of the quick action here, as it can be used as a combat trick. Take it out of that, and I think that's the end of the draft, yep. So that's basically the cards. I think that's a pretty decent draft. So yeah, if I was to make a deck from that, I reckon I could make a pretty decent deck that could do well in a draft. So yeah, I'll just start a new draft in a minute. Just gonna check a few things for a second. So for those of you who are watching, we'll be back in about 10 to 20 seconds. Actually, actually what I will do is stop the stream and then restart it when I'm back. So thanks for watching that draft, and I'll be back in a sec.